eventually I went on to join the Ph.D. program in computer science at Stanford. And it was purely, the interest of what can you do with all of the world's information now that it's online. That interest spawned Google, and that was together with Larry Page, who's my co-founder and partner. I think as a kid, I always had a kind of scientific curiosity. I was always interested in mathematics, and I always enjoyed doing math problems. And in fact, my undergrad, I had a degree in both math and computer science. And I think eventually I was really inspired by computers because of the amazing power that they give you. I mean, today's PCs do 1 billion operations per second. I mean, it's almost inconceivable. And I think that was the most inspiring thing to me, how you could leverage that to actually produce something that was, that was useful beyond video games and things like that.
The challenge of a problem or the importance isn't that related to how likely you are to achieve it. And in fact, even when you go after a more ambitious goal, even if you fail to achieve that one, all the side effects that come along the way can be that much more rewarding and significant in their own right. And so, I feel lucky that I fell into doing something that I feel really matters, getting people information around the world about anything. I wish there was a way to convey that to the world at large. Obviously, all of you already have this religion, but it's very rewarding when you work on something you think is going to make a big difference. And yeah, it's a little bit harder, but I think the passion that one might bring with it brings so much more energy to that you're more likely to succeed. I'm Sergey Brin. I'm from Google, and prior to that, I was a PhD student at Stanford. Larry and I first met when he came to visit during the PhD recruitment weekend, which was, he started a couple of years after I did. And we became good friends when he actually agreed to join and came on board. And we experimented with a variety of things. We had some shared interests, and Larry had this crazy idea that he was going to download all the links on the web and then do something with them. It wasn't entirely clear what. We did find that there were great applications, and one of them was search, which eventually became Google.
Co-founders are super important for building a company, and you guys have doing great for 15 years. Have you sort of fundamentally disagreed on something at all over the last 15 years, and how did you resolve?
Where do I start? No.
I think if you get to know somebody over a long period of time, we're working together for so long, and we are committed to doing that, you don't get agitated about one little thing or the other. I don't know, we work it through. And also, generally, we've gotten to think remarkably alike, which scares some people around us, I guess.
Yeah, and the other thing, we know enough, I guess, that when we're disagreeing, you make a lot of calls that aren't obvious. So, if you're disagreeing, it's probably that it's not obvious what to do.
One is on deploying a service that's going to serve millions of people. When we were at Stanford, we had 10,000 people using our service, or about 10,000 searches per day, I should say. And now we serve over 50 million searches per day. And that scaling of infrastructure, that's pretty challenging. On a more personal level, I think I'm now the president of Google, and we have about 170 people now. And I think managing people and being emotionally sensitive and all of the skills you learn in terms of communication and keeping people motivated, I think that's been a challenge, and I've enjoyed learning that. But that's an important and a hard thing to learn. As a child, I had an accent. I came to the U.S. at the age of 6, and so I was teased and stuff in elementary school, and I don't regard myself as being really popular going through school. But that was never that important to me, and I always had friends. I think if anything, I feel like I've gotten a gift by by being in the States rather than growing up in Russia. And I know the hard times that my parents went through there, and I'm very thankful that I was brought to the States. And I think it just makes me appreciate my life.
Sergey, have you showered yet today?
I will not in this temperature water. No.
All right, we need some nooglers over here.
Okay.
Can we get?
Why don't we invite some nooglers? Okay. All right. Well, Larry, you have my microphone, first of all. Jesus.
That was quite refreshing.
Yeah, that was worse than I expected, I'll be honest with you. I thought it would be over faster than that, but it kind of sticks on you here. It's like kind of still feels really, really cold.
At least we actually had ice.
Yeah, I know. This is legit. This is the real deal. Anyway, we'll be making a donation to ALS, and I don't know, we should taunt some other executives. I can't think exactly who I want to make suffer right now, so we'll keep that in mind.
Could you ever imagine what came out of your original entrepreneurial first steps?
No, I could not possibly have imagined. But and I don't know what your thinking was behind the forum, but I remember when I was really thinking deeply about this, and this was sort of a graduate student project at Stanford, and I talked to my advisor. I was like, should I really do this entrepreneurial thing? And it might not work out, and I can just finish my Ph.D. And he said, why not? Go for it. And then if it doesn't work out, you come back, you finish your Ph.D., which I'm still planning on doing. But anyway, there's like no big deal. Just give it a shot. And I think that mentality permeates Silicon Valley, and I think that's one of the strengths that there's really not much. It's not viewed so negatively to try something, even if it doesn't work out.
You've made ginormous amounts of money. What do you guys plan on doing the rest of your life? You've achieved so much already.
I think there are many important things to life, aside from financial or career success. And in fact, it's not necessarily the ultimate success that motivates you. It's the process of getting there, and the technologies or products that you build, or in whatever realms you may be in. So I'm not too concerned about finding something to do, though I do think it'll be based on doing things that I really enjoy and not have some end goal in mind.